Well, hello, everybody. Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Julia Royson of BK Royson Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, the author community, the book business bosses, and the host of Live Your Best Life. And honestly, I am living my best life. I think I'm working more than I ever did before. And that's a great thing because I'm living the dream. I'm living my dream. So, my guest today is our favorite money strategist. Ms. Rita Oliver. And so let me kind of give you the backstory because when we get ready to head either to the end of the year, the beginning of the year, or whenever you're going to listen to this replay, because it could be the end of the week, it could be the beginning of the month, whenever you have an opportunity to get information to make your life better, that's what I want to be bringing to you. And I know that we talked about hello, please share, put in the comments, tag people who say, "Oh, my money ain't right, girl. I'm trying to get it together. Or I got to get my coins together." Now I say that, but I got a target. I got an idea in my mind. I'm not, I'm working toward that and hoping for that and saving for that. And I got a goal in my mind, and I'm gonna be moving toward that. So if you have a friend, family member, neighbor who always has an issue with money, come on in. And I know it's a tough conversation. We've talked about that before. People don't be telling me how I spend my money. Don't be telling me, baby, but you want to borrow and you mad because other people can do things that you can't do. But we can all do something. We can all take the money that we have and grow it and make it better. So we are at the time of this recording, we are and Miss Rita will tell us more exactly the number of days, but I said I need to, well, when I was praying about it even before that, he said September is strategic September. September needs to be the month where you reevaluate. You don't want to wait till fourth quarter. You don't want to be waiting to December talking about what are my New Year's resolutions. You want to be able to kick in some things way ahead of time and in advance. We've got 3 months, full 3 months to go, and Ms. Rita will tell us exactly how many days it is in a minute. But we've got some time to get some goals accomplished. We've got some time to get some systems in place. We've got some time to shift some gears because that whole stimulus money thing and all of that money may never come again. That might have been just a one-time deal, one-time thing, and we may never see that again. But we still got to live. We still got to eat. We still got to put a roof over our head. We still got kids that are going to college or just eating out our refrigerator. We still have the ability to switch gears, no matter what age we are, to make our lives much better. Now, that for some maybe, oh, I want 10 bedrooms and all that. You work that and make that happen. But some of us just want to live and be comfortable, take care of our bills without having to stress ourselves out. We want to retire. We don't want to be still working at 85 if we don't have to. We don't want to be working at 75. I retired from school at 55. So I really wanted our time together to really help us, one, to think. And, we're not coming in your bank accounts. And unless you retain Miss Rita Oliver as your money strategist and schedule an appointment and sign the contract and pay the deposit for her fee, then she'll get into the details. But right now, you have the opportunity to get your pen and your paper, your notebook, like I have mine, and put your money down on paper to look at your own money. Nobody looking over your shoulder, and put your own numbers down. So I want to remind you, this is Strategic September. We're giving you an opportunity. I've been talking about even Sunday when I went live at 9:30. I was talking about how much does it cost, and leading up to tonight because I wanted you to start thinking about how much. But how much does that job cost you? Your body, your mind, your spirit, not just the amount of money. Yeah, that's part of it. But some of it is stress and strain. Is it really worth it? Are those credit cards really important? I mean, do you need all of that? Do you need any more shoes? Do you need any more clothes? I sound like my husband. Do you need another designer person? Do you need that? Or you just want that? So looking at your money, because it will impact what you do. The ability, if you plan and you strategize, you'll have the ability to do something different. And we've got time to do that. So before I turn it over to Miss Rita Oliver, I do want to remind you, if you're ready to write your book, tomorrow, September 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our last 10-week course where I'm walking you through and meeting you every week. So this is the last one of 2021. So if you want to be in my class, my online class where I'll walk you through, and we meet every week for an hour for 10 weeks, go to bkroystonpublishing.com and click on classes. If you are ready to be a book business boss and you say my book, oh, it should go to the next level, go there and register there. And let's have a conversation about your book, and let's ready to move it forward. Because I'm in the book business. I'm the book business boss, and helping you get your message to the masses and turn your words into wealth. And hopefully some books that you sell, coaching that you do, turning that business will help you say, all right, I've made this much money. Ms. Rita Oliver, help me spend it. Help me save it. Help me grow it. Help me invest it. All right. So, Ms. Rita, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
Brian Royston is a money man. He's going to be in. Thank you so much, Miss Stacy
Okay.
Cooper.
Thank you, Stacy.
Come on, love. I'm going to get on out and
Okay. And
take the
then you
floor
can
for
just
me.
come back when you want me to
I
break down
will. Come
whatever.
on.
Okay. And then we come up. All right. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everybody, for being here tonight to see this. And then for those of you that's going to catch this on the replay, I'm so excited that Julia contacted me about doing this tonight. Here we are, September 20th, 2021. And there are 10 days left in September. And then we start October next week. And so, with that, when you think about 10 days left in September and 3 months to go, all of that totals 102 days that's remaining in 2021. That's right, 102 days. And when you take those numbers, 102, and you add them together, that comes to the number three. And the number three means harmony, what's pleasing to you, new life, starting something over, newness. And it also means completeness. That means all the parts are in place to do what you need to do. That's why Julia and I say strategic September. 10 days left to start thinking about this, of getting you to harmony, to the new life, and to completeness. So, taking the time now in September to start thinking about your strategy, what you want to do differently with money. And then, even when you take the 102 days and divide it by those 3 full months, that's like 34 days for you to work on stuff in segments. That's about being intentional, that's about focus, and that's about execution. But let's get on to what you got to do here in the next 102 days. You got 10 to plan for it. So the 102 is the execution. The first thing is you got to reassess. What's your financial condition? What have you done and what have you not done financially in the last 263 days? Think about that. What have you done? What have you not done in the last 263 days? Now, Julia kind of alluded to it. Stimulus checks and all that stuff is over with. You may have received it, gotten a tax refund, gotten some unemployment benefits that were there for a while. So, you know what? Yeah, that was part of your financial condition. You received that money. So now it's about, where are you today? Where are you today on September 20th? And where will you be tomorrow on September 21st? You got to take time now and look at that. Reassess. What's my financial condition? You got to know where you stand before you can move forward to start to walk and to run. The second thing is, once now it's time to refresh. Once you reassess, refresh is, what are the lessons that happened in these last 263 days? Not to look at it as good or bad, and that's fine, but what are the lessons learned? What can you take from the last 263 days of lessons? Say top three that you can bring now into this 102 to take you into 2022. What can you do? It's time to refresh. Then the third thing is, you got to reposition. Reposition. Repositioning means being in a different place. You got to alter, you got to adjust your position. And where I'm saying is for Strategic September and this next 102, you got to reposition your mindset, how you view money. Y'all heard me say that. Y'all heard me talk about that all the time. And you've got to get down your behavior with money. That's how you think, how you act, how you do, how you respond, how you react with money. And then it's about action, taking a different action to be somewhere different with yourself financially. That's why you got to reassess. Where am I today? That's why you got to refresh. What did I do in the last 263? What can I bring with me that I learned something that'll help me to move, reposition to a new position? Mindset, behavior, and action. That's your MBA with money. And then here are the 3 questions I want you to write down going forward. Am I saving enough? Am I saving, first of all? Am I saving enough? And what is my financial strategy? Am I saving? Am I saving enough? And what's my financial strategy? See, you've got to know those things there going forward, because the reason I ask you about savings is because you've got to establish a foundation. Just like your home stands on a foundation, a slab, or pier and beam, you got to stand on a foundation here for your money. That's what you got to do, and reassess, refresh, and reposition to move forward in the next 102. So when you talk about, am I saving enough? Am I saving? Am I saving enough? And the financial strategy, it's the 3. We talking 3s tonight, y'all, because 3 is harmony, newness, and completeness. Because see, when you do this in the next 102, you got a new mindset, behavior, and action that you're taking into 2022. So we start with the fundamentals, income and expenses. Y'all have heard me say that for years here now that I've been on here, and I'm never moving off of it, because that's your foundation. You don't know that, you can't move forward with nothing. I don't care what anybody brings to you about investing in this, getting this with real estate, moving here, doing this. If you don't know income expenses, you can't do nothing, because your foundation is going to be just like this. That's all you're going to have. And then with that foundation, the income and expenses, what is so key is building that emergency savings. You know, you got to have that. I did a reel on Instagram, but you all write this down. $27.40. $27.40 a day. Put it away for 365 days and you got 10K. You have no excuse to say you can't build an emergency fund. Even if you start here in the next 102 days and put away $27.40, you're going to have $2,794.80, better than zero, to start off with your emergency fund. So then when you have that, and when you come back to today, September 20th, you sitting on 10K. That is awesome. The last thing is the future income planning. Hey, we got to think about tomorrow. We really do. And I mean that tomorrow that's 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. You've got to think about that, and you've got to do something about it. You know, that's getting into your employer-sponsored retirement plan. That's also you doing an IRA outside of that. And that's also you doing a long-term savings plan. You know, income and expenses sets the foundation for the vision. That's what it is. It's a written plan for you, for the team to execute. If the team is a team of 1, like myself, you execute it, because you got to have that foundation to move forward. Let me ask you something. Where do you stand, and what is your money truth? What's your money truth? What is it? That's the real reality check. What's your money truth? The other thing with the future income planning, we're all going to reach a day, and Julia talked about it early on, the day when we'll stop working, the day when we want to go and do the passion that we've had, do what we've been our passion for such a long time. But the question is, ladies and gentlemen, is can you afford it? Can you afford it? Because you are going to need income for life. Income for life. You have got to do something. You cannot just sit and haphazardly think it's going to happen. Let me give you an example. I had a contractor, to come to my house last week to do landscaping. He did an awesome job. And I started talking to him about his business. Told me he's been in business 20 years here in Louisville. 20 years. And I said, what do you have for retirement? He said, I don't have anything. I don't have nothing. And I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no, I don't have nothing. I told him, I said, well, you know what? I'm not trying to be funny to you, but I'm being honest and truthful with you. If you heard, you around my age, you heard the song by Billy Preston. He said, nothing from nothing leaves nothing, and you got to have something. And I said, and you got to have something. So you've got to sit down with me so that you get something, because there's no reason to have been in business 20 years and you don't have anything for retirement and you're in your late 50s. As Julia said, you don't want to work till you're 85. And he doesn't want to work till he's 85 because he's doing some very strenuous physical labor. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an entrepreneur, I'm here to tell you, for future income planning, you've got to have your retirement plan. You have no choice in this matter. You have no choice in this matter. Granted, you may be making the money or bringing it all in, but I ask you the question, whether you're working or you are that entrepreneur, where is your money going? You still got to have a foundation for income and expenses. You still got to know where you stand. You have to know what's your money true revenue and expenses and income. Same thing for working, income and expenses. You got to have emergency savings, a contingency for your business, a contingency for your household. And then you got to have something for the future. Anything can happen at any time. And we've seen this since March 2020 with COVID, that anything happened. Totally changed the trajectory. I was talking with someone at work today. COVID has changed everything for everybody. Something that you can't see that's moving around in the air and changed the trajectory for many people. So that's why here, Strategic September, day is September the 20th. You've got 10 days here to start doing what I just said: reassess, refresh, reposition, so that the next 102 days, you're in a different position going into 2022.
Oh my gosh. So there's just so much. And thank you, Miss Stacy Cooper, for being on and being our scribe. Because I'm typing fast and she's typing as fast as me or faster. But we have to really look at that, because Big Mama and them had that coffee cans on the refrigerators, on top of the refrigerators or in the cabinet, hiding it. And those coffee cans is great, but they're not getting us no interest. We're not
No,
able to
not
invest
getting
in
no
those.
interest.
They're not getting no interest. We're not getting no investment. We're not doing any of those other things to be able to generate income. And we're now in a season where we
Mm-hmm.
can't spend everything we make. I mean,
No, you can't.
I love the investing and all that, and I'm cool with that. And I invest in my business, but you cannot. Everything can't come for free, and everything won't be you. Miss Stacy Cooper says you can't grow a coffee can.
You can't.
Exactly.
You're right. Stacey is one of my VIP clients. Stacey
Oh,
knows. She's
say
been
no, you can't.
trained. She's been trained well.
Yes,
Mindset,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
behavior, and action is there. But Julia, it's about, everybody waits for the new year. Like we're saying here, strategic September, 10 days to think here. You can reassess. You know
Yeah,
what you've been doing, what you've done for the last 263 when it comes to your money. You
you're
know it
right.
better than anybody.
That's
Then,
right.
like I said, refresh. What are the top three things you learned in from those 263 days to bring forward now, to put in this to help you reposition? So you're
Right.
in a new position in 2022.
Well, one of the biggest things I think, people who see me online, they're like, "Woo, girl, you doing everything," but I have to do a lot of things because I need multiple streams of income. I want multiple streams of income. When one stops or one slows, or this happened, my 2020 looked totally different than my 2021. I didn't leave the house. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't travel. So
Mhm.
therefore, I need multiple streams of income to be able to grow my business to where I wanted to grow, to get it to where I wanted to get it. Y'all know I've said it over and over again. I'm going to 3 to 5 years hard in the paint. Well, I'm headed into year 4.
Okay.
So therefore, having multiple streams of income. So Miss Stacy Cooper says multiple streams of income is the best way of life. You best believe that. And
Yeah.
canceling all debts,
Yeah.
Come on, I
And
should have had Miss Stacy Cooper
we
give
have
her
a
the
question
link.
here from Brian. Have a
Yes.
question.
So Brian says, does the tithe model work?
I think the tithe model works for your situation if it fits your situation. Here's what I mean by that, Brian. So, what I teach people is that it is about the priority allocation and assignment of that net pay. So, when you have prioritized what is important to you in your life and that you can afford, then if that 10%, because that comes as tithing and gifting, you're setting aside that 10% to do that and that you can afford it, you're not going into debt to do it, that you're managing your money, then you can do it. It's all about your priority. You are the priority. God and tithing is a priority for you, then you will live on less than you make and less than you earn for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
It's a
that's a faith.
priority.
That's a faith thing altogether.
That
That
it
you
is.
need faith
And
for
it's a
that.
priority.
It's a
Are you
priority,
including faith as
and
a
faith got
priority?
faith has to go with that. It's a priority for you,
It's a
and that is
priority.
faith. Yeah, that
So
really
then
is. That
you
really
on
is.
your living is going to be much less so that you can afford to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, your living is gonna be much less. Then your saving may be set at a certain amount. You do the $27.40 a day, you're gonna save $10,000 every year.
yeah. I mean, that's a great one right there. That's a great
So
one. I mean, you can't.
yeah, it is everything is priority. And then when you set those priorities, then the living, you have to then set the priority with the living. As I said, because when I did the reel on the 2740, someone commented to me, Julia, and said, well, that's $200 a week. That's about $700. I told myself, people are paying $250, $300 a month for cable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if people can do that, you can find $27.40. Or Julia, cut it in half to
Right.
$13.70. That'll be $5K. But my point is do something. Is
Yes.
that it doesn't take a lot. It takes discipline, it takes consistency, and you staying being intentional and doing it over time.
Yeah, because what happens is you'll have that emergency fund for that emergency that you didn't see coming, that you
That's
didn't
exactly
know.
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's it, bottom line. But the tithe piece is always associated with faith. I mean, it's always associated with your priority that God is number one,
That's it.
and the tithe is is number one for you, and God will lead you where and when to sow and how to sow and the whole 9 yards. So that's faith, but that's also knowing that the 90. I've always been taught in church that
Mhm.
we're going to be able to live better on the 90 than we ever did because we put God first. That's a faith thing, that's a belief thing, and that's got to be individual. I mean,
That's got to
I
be
know
individual.
it's got to be individual.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to get to that faith level and that faith walk. I mean,
And
so
you on that 90, you gotta say, do you really need the whole 90?
well,
Because
that's
you
true
really
too.
shouldn't live on the whole 90. Some of that should be going for that emergency fund, should be
Yeah,
going for retirement. And then that's when you gotta do what I said, you gotta get into those expenses because you got fixed and variable. The
yeah,
fixed will always be with you, your utilities, your insurance, those things. That variable is that stuff that you requested.
yeah,
Credit cards, auto loan,
yeah,
mortgages, all that stuff. That variable you can get rid of. You
yeah,
got to reduce it and eliminate it. Once you do that, you're going to find yourself probably living on 60, if that.
yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Especially if you've come to a certain income level, and
correct.
and especially if you've had other opportunities for income, because I've seen people that have come to me for book publishing and all of that, and they never can. Well, I don't say they never, because I think that's the reason why they come to you and they come to me, so that they can see something that they've never seen before, because
Absolutely.
that's what our
Absolutely.
gifts are, that's what our call is, that's what our job is, to help people to see that they have more than they
Mhm.
ever saw before, and they have an opportunity if they just do this, because some of it's passed down, some of it's cultural, some of it's this is the way my parents did it, so I thought that was the right way to do it. And
Mhm.
then the money they had and the money you have is maybe two totally different monies. The ability and the access to education, the access to a retirement plan. You know, the agricultural jobs are still there, but a lot of us are not working those. A lot of us are not outside. Some do have thriving lawn care services, and we love them and we thank God for them. But all of us are not out there doing that. So therefore, our ability to make money, and especially if you got multiple incomes, there's really that income is not, I'm on fixed income. Well, if you're an entrepreneur, your income is as fixed as you want to make it fixed.
Surely, it's fixed as you want to make it.
It's as
Well,
fixed as you
but
want to
Julia,
make it.
that's also for people working for somebody, because you can go do some gig work. You can go do some part-time work. So really, income is for fixed as anybody wants to make it.
Exactly. And some people just, I don't want to do anything else. Okay, so then your income is fixed. So
Correct.
therefore you have fixed it. You could fix it and change it, but you fixed it. You said you wanted it to just be here, and that's fine. And that's a choice. That goes back to the reassessment, that goes back to the decisions, that goes back to so don't stop me for having these many buckets of income. And if you say, I only want to work one job and I want to come home, eat dinner, and watch the shows, and then go to bed. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do nothing else. I don't
Chose a
want to.
lifestyle that we respect. So
Yeah,
respect my lifestyle, that I'm in multiple things that are basically enriching me in my mind, enriching me in my associations, and enriching my pocket.
exactly. Apostle Ruth says, Pastor Apostle Wilson says that limited mindset.
She's right. She's
Yeah,
exactly right. I mean, that it all starts there with the mindset.
yeah,
Julia, I mean, I said it. That's what I have as my hashtag that I help people get their MBA with money. Your mindset, how you view it, what you said it culturally, what you saw is what you've been doing.
you're
And
right.
then it's your behavior, how
Yeah,
you think, act, do, respond, react to it. And then it's all about the actions that you take. So, but you also alluded to is that, we have more education now about money. We have so many opportunities out here. Like when you talked about, people talk about investing, and I am an investor because I invest in my 401k and retirement plan, in my IRA, all of that. But I also come from this point right here, which is kind of back to Brian's question. You got to get that fundamental together before you start doing all that. That's why I teach people on the fundamental. You got to have a stable foundation before you start going outside somewhere else. That
right.
that tithing model is fine and that your living is fine. Then after that, you start building up on that. Take care of the house. Make
Yeah,
sure the house and the foundation is solid before you
right.
start going outside. And that's
Exactly.
where I think people sometimes can get overwhelmed, and get into something that is that kind of it pushes them back with money. Is that you got to make sure your foundation was solid before you went out there.
Right.
You do. You
And
got to make
to
sure
even
that.
start a business, because some people's businesses require a lot of upfront capital
Yes, it
and
does.
money to do that. Mine does
Yes.
not. It's
Right.
project based, so it's based on I have book inventory when I sell, but I don't have inventory until I sell it. So therefore,
Correct.
I don't have a lot of inventory just sitting around going, oh my gosh, how am I going to sell? I just don't. And my business is based on a per project basis. So therefore, my need for a lot of capital loans, a lot of is not necessary for me. But you
Correct.
have to be able to count up that cost. That goes into how much, who sit it down to build a house doesn't sit down first and count up the cost. So you have to count up the cost for all of it. You have to say, all right, I'm not gonna be able to head out to the club with y'all on the weekend, every weekend. If I'm
Right.
gonna have this money, I can't go be, whatever, making it rain and everything else, whatever they're doing. You can't be doing all of that. I mean, if you're gonna be able to have money for your future, have a roof over your head, you just can't be doing all of that. You cannot, whatever you have to, there's a price for that. And that price is you may have to work longer. Because if you don't save when you're younger, when you're 18, and you don't learn how to save when you're a small child, and know that I'm going to tithe this, and I'm not getting ready to spend everything. I'm going to get 4 pieces of candy instead of 14 pieces of candy. And I'm going to hold the other money I got for doing my chores for something else. If we learned that younger, we would, we do that. But, sometimes you don't have that culturally. You didn't have that in your house. And then you didn't have that
You did.
ability to.
You didn't, Julia, and that's and we didn't have it. But let's come now. But you're getting it today.
Yeah.
It's it's
We're
it's,
getting it
it's
today.
available
So we're
today.
gonna change today. We're gonna
Yeah,
fix
it's
it. We're gonna
available
go get
today.
that
That's where we're coming from.
$27 and we're gonna
Yeah,
get that
it's
$27.40
$0.40.
and
That's
put it
right. And
away
15K.
every day,
Because
and that will
all
give us
that back
10,000.
there was the reassess. I didn't have it. But I'm here now to refresh. Okay? I'm here now to refresh. So I learned something new because that's gonna get me to reposition.
Right.
Yeah. Uh-uh.
So refreshing. So I want to point out that if you're following me on Facebook, I have 2 links in the comments. So be sure and go there. The first one being pay hip. Now it's kind of long, so I want you to go on my Facebook page because you can just click there and go. And so tell us a little bit about
And let me
Slay
tell
Your
you about what's
Finances.
there. So when I talked about the fundamentals, the income and expenses, Julia, of getting that down, what's there at PayHip on that collection is called Slay Your Finances. And it's 2 downloads there, 2 ebooks that you can buy. The first book is The Money Truth, the 2-step reality check, what you know and what you owe. That's the bottom line. And then the second book is a budgeting book, a quick budgeting book called 5 Steps to Slay Your Finances. I lay out for you how to do it. Kind of like going back to Brian's question, there's a model in there for the percentages with budgeting. I created those 2 for those people that's not ready, as you said, for me to kind of get in it with them. But this lays out how you can start to get in it for yourself, to reassess, to refresh, and reposition.
Exactly. So you ready? So you got not only just a conversation between us, you got tools. You got a
Tool.
resource right there. You got a tool right there that can
Mhm.
help you sit down. If you need more than a pen and paper, go right to that. PayHip link is in my comments. It's right under Julia A. Royston, and you'll be able to click there and go ahead and purchase it and
Yeah,
actually get the tools that you need. Now,
get
the
the tools
next
that
thing
you need.
is one of the things that I'm currently enjoying. I mean, it may not look like I'm doing it, but because I'm doing a lot, but I'm living my best life. So what my life looks like and what yours looks like. If you want to stay home and be in a rocking chair and put your feet up and be in your pajamas and rollers until noon, that's great. That's great for you, but that won't work for me. I'm going hard in the paint to do what I need to do for 3 to 5 years. I'm now in year 4, and so I'm going to do my thing until and on my 60th birthday, me and the Lord and my husband going to have a retreat and go figure out what our next steps are. And my husband's
That's
already
right.
told me, you're not
Okay.
retiring for real, so you're going to keep on going. But the second thing is the second link that's already under the comments is the
Yeah.
retirement guide and checklist. Now, this.
Yeah. So this is here something when I talked about the future income planning, investing in retirement. This subject is near and dear to my heart because I am getting ready to retire here, Julia. So I am in my last quarter here of working. So I will be retiring at the end of January 31st, 2022. And so I got 130 something days left, but I really will, once I do my Christmas leave in December, I won't be coming back. And February 1st, I'll be retiring with 36 years, 8 months, and 22 days of service
Now.
to the federal government.
All
So,
right, come on through, lady. Come on through, lady.
so
Yay!
what I have here is a quick guide and checklist for people to start looking at their retirement planning. Where do you begin? If you haven't done anything, as the gentleman that I hired to do something for me, he hadn't started. So where do you begin? You got to start asking and looking at some fundamental questions. Remember, I asked you, am I saved? Are you saving? Are you saving enough? And what's your financial strategy? That encompasses everything, but retirement is what we really have to do to get into this last quarter, this planning for that future for our lives. As what Julia's saying, she has been going hard in the paint here. She in year 4. So I've been working SOS part-time here as I've been working the last 5 years. I'm going to get ready to go hard in the paint here in 2022 to really kick it up. And I really am focused on retirement. And by me being a federal government employee, one of the areas that I am working on, I'm revamping now. I mean, God really lays and plans it out, because I've gotten calls in the last days from federal employees saying, well, Rita, I told so-and-so you're a financial planner. We need to sit down on this for planning. I'm 5 years out from retiring. They're my colleagues. So because I've done it, Julia, and I've planned for it. And so I have this guide here, whether you're federal government or private sector, you can start to think about it, because I've got some questions in there for you that you need to answer about, preparing for retirement. Because the biggest thing is this: you got to make it happen. Nobody else gonna make it happen. You got to initiate it, plan it, and execute it. That's it. You got to do it. And so whether you're working for someone or you're an entrepreneur, but this is to help you understand about retirement, employer-sponsored plans, other additional options out there for you. And then a pre-retirement checklist is in there on things you need to write down and check off to start getting prepared. Because the biggest thing is this, is that you don't want to come down to the day or be 6 months and say I'm ready to go, and you go to HR and you see that number and know you can't live on that number. When you have an opportunity to make sure that when you go, you have no doubt in your mind that when I leave, it's going to be exactly what I want it to be. And that's what I did many years ago. Have no doubt, have no fear in my mind. My lifestyle won't change because of going back and looking back at that time of putting in place kind of the model that Brian asked about, of putting the right amount of money where it needed to be, priority and allocation, so I could see this day and not worry about this day. And that's what this guide will help you do, to start you to thinking, because you got to think about this and you got to do something about it. You got to do something about this today.
Yeah, you got to start. You got to start. Yeah,
you got to start. That's why in Strategic September here, in those 10 days, this is one of your things. So that when somebody said the feet needs to move to maturity. That is true. So that's why in Strategic September here in these 10 days, that's retirement is one of the issues. I gave you 3 fundamentals: income and expenses, emergency savings, and future income. You get that in place, then you're not worried. All you do is tweak every year.
Yeah.
But you got to get started. You do.
Yeah,
and you can't, and I'm here to tell you can't put no pennies toward it. You can't.
No.
Can't put no pennies toward it to get no promise.
No. So Miss Stacy Cooper said, "I Dream of Jeannie" was a television show. I remember it. You have to show it for yourself in order to make it happen. Yeah, because that sneeze and blinking she used to do, that ain't gonna do it. And Mr. Being old is a blessing. Being old and broke is a curse, ain't it? Though it's terrible.
Right.
I don't like.
And that's not where you want it to be. So that retirement guide and checklist to help you get started, help you start to ask the questions that you need to ask at work, questions that you need to ask at home, and things you need to do at home. Changes you need to make. But if you follow what I just said here tonight about the next 102 days and reassess, refresh, and reposition, you'll get yourself there.
Yeah,
you just gotta do it.
I tell you what, and I've had so many people who I remember when finishing up and going through retirement. For me, first off, I told my principal I have nothing else left. I have nothing else left for this here. And so, my husband and I, we went to our to the retirement office, and I'm like, what is it, and what is it, and where it is. And so when I came back, and they were like, "Are you still gonna do it, girl? You're not gonna wait?" No, I'm not. And so the other teacher says, I don't know if I can. I just know I can. I said, well, have you gone? Have you sat down with the people? Have you gone to the retirement office? No. And I said, well, how do you know? You just basing it on somebody else.
That's right.
I said, baby, they got them 23-inch, 23-inch monitors sitting there with that computer. That young man put in them numbers as fast as anybody, and told me exactly how much my check's gonna be until I die, and how much insurance I was gonna get. Everything they'll tell you, but if you don't know, you won't know. So you gotta know.
Exactly. So that's the thing right there. And when listening to me tonight, listen on the replay. Go to your HR, to your retirement counselor. Tell them to run you what your estimate is. of what you're going to get. Because even if you're, most places today have a 401k, do you know what your balance is? Do
Yeah.
you know what you're invested in?
Yeah.
Do you know how you're supposed to withdraw it? Do you know about your benefits that you're
Right.
going to get? You
Right.
got to go down there and ask, because then when you know that, then you can reassess, you can refresh, and you can reposition.
Well, one of the worst things is that, okay, my husband had a pension and I did too. But the
Yeah,
younger ones coming to the a company where he worked, they have eliminated. So they
yeah.
switched the money. So therefore, you don't have the benefits of staying at a company 30 years. So your retirement and what that looks like for you, especially if you're in your early 20s, is going to look totally different than me, who's in my late 50s. So
Hmm.
therefore, retirement planning, money, you're going to need a money strategist now more than ever, because some, not all, but some companies have eliminated that pension. They have eliminated that ability and what that retirement looks like and what
Uh,
that 401k looks like. And you got
yeah,
to put it all
yeah.
yourself. So you need to know when they give you that, it's not just that check every 2 weeks or once a month. You need
Hmm.
to know what all those other benefits, the small fine print that you
The
don't
health
even know.
insurance, the
Yeah,
life
all
insurance.
of that. And if
What are your benefits?
accidental death and
Everything,
cancer and all of that, you
everything,
need to know all of that. Oh my
everything. And but Julia, to your comment, you know, gone are the days of the defined pension benefit plan. Federal government, we still have it. Some of your state governments have it. But the majority corporations today, and even some of your states with teachers, they have a 401k, which is defined contribution plan, where you contribute a certain amount of money and your employer will match that, usually up to 5 to 6%. Now, the maximum that you can put in there every year in 2021 is $19,500 a year. So that equates to $750 every 2 weeks. And then your employer is matching that amount of money. Now, you may not be able to start the max, but you can start somewhere, but you can get to the max, because the maximum annual amount changes every year. Sometimes it stays the same, and IRS will change it depending on what the CPI index is, consumer price index. But here's the thing. Say you start out with $300 a pay period. When you get those raises, you never hit that money, never hit your hand. Put that money up to the 401k. Cost of living raise. Put that money to the 401k. And you start cutting your expenses down. You can start contributing more. You'll look at it and you'll be whatever that max is for that pay for that year, because it's all about you contributing. And then you got to contribute outside of 401k. I got a pension and a 401k, and I got another retirement account. Okay, that's that multiple streams of income.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you got to do, as I said, you got to initiate it, plan it, and execute it. But it's about getting the knowledge about what you do. And you can start with the guide that you can get for free. You can
Yep.
start with that. So whether you have the pension like I do in the federal government, you still got to know about your benefits. Those watching me here from the federal government, you still need to go down to HR and go get your retirement annuity estimate, so you can see what you're going to get, what your life insurance is going to cost, what state tax is going to be, federal income tax is going to be. Are you going to do a survivor's annuity? See, there are decisions that have to be made, Julia.
Yeah.
Are you going
Yeah.
to do a survivor's annuity for your
Right.
spouse?
Yeah.
And
That's
there are
right.
some implications with that. In the
Right.
federal government, if you don't, if you are the carrying the health insurance and your spouse does not work for the federal government, if you don't take the survivor's annuity and that person who got the pension dies, spouse can't get the health insurance
Oh, wow.
unless they were a former federal government employee. Other than that, you out of luck.
Wow. So you have
So
to make that statement. So you got to go see HR.
you got to go see HR. You
That's
got to
all.
go know. You got to know what you're going to get or potentially get. Because then when you see the number, then that's when you got to refresh and have some conversations at home about what y'all got to do in the next 5 to 10 years for this to happen.
Need a family meeting. Might need to call a family meeting, and that family meeting might just be you. You might be living alone, and you need to sit down and say,
You sit.
"Girl, we ain't gonna be
I have
able to
the
live
family
like
meeting
this."
with me. I had
Yeah,
the family meeting with me,
I
Julia.
did
I had
too.
to look at it.
I
So
did
yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah,
I
because
did
I
too.
needed to know that number.
Yeah,
I am the sole income provider. So I needed to know what that was going to be and what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So it's taking a hard look. As I
Right.
said, 263 days are gone.
My
What
Lord.
are the top 3 lessons that you can bring forward now here in the next 10 to set your strategy in September to implement in the next 102 so that your 2022 is right where you want it to be?
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's always a pleasure having you on. Let's see if anybody else has a comment. Miss Stacy, communication is huge.
That's right.
Exactly, exactly. And you have to have those critical, especially single people. You have to figure out who's gonna take care of you. And if you're like
That's
me,
true.
who has no biological children, who's gonna get it? Where is it gonna go? And I'm
That's
like,
right.
I'm
That's exactly.
working, but what's gonna happen next? I
That's
have no
right.
biological children to leave it to. So where does it go? So
That's
what do we
right.
do with it? And with COVID, you don't have to be old to die. You don't
That's
have to
right.
be old to die now. So
Mhm.
therefore, getting your house in order, being strategic, and God was on me so many years ago, even before I married Brian Royston, which will be on the 23rd, will be 15 years. You got to get a right relationship with
Congratulations.
money. And that's why I had to get a right relationship with money before I could have a right relationship with Brian Royston.
And you know
You
that's another video with getting these money right in these marriages. That's another.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, wait a minute. Give us the title of your book. Uh, what,
Yeah,
disclose before you.
disclose before you disrobe.
Yeah.
Financial necessities before you say I do and after. And I'm gonna end it this way, Julia. I believe if you can definitely get physical, PHYSICAL, you certainly can get fiscal, FISCAL the
Oh,
money.
come on through. Come through, lady. Come through, lady. Let me get y'all the website because I know y'all need to go there. Miss Rita Oliver, SOS. SOS.com. Be sure and get her all her resources that she's provided, the comments and on my Facebook page. You can click the link and go directly there, as well as the retirement guide and checklist. She's provided tools for you. Now, while she's enjoying taking care of her clients and enjoying retirement, she wants you to be retired and enjoy your life too. And I always want you to live your best life. Me and Miss Rita
Mhm.
Oliver, we crossed paths via a friend of ours, Miss Felita, back in, I looked up on my calendar. It was 2019. So it has
Yeah,
been,
well, in
yeah, it was
2019 we
2019.
went to Seattle.
Yeah,
I'm
we were
hoping
in
we get to
Tacoma and
go
Seattle.
again up there to
I
the Pacific
know.
Northwest.
Hopefully, hopefully,
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully. So that's been
I
more
loved
than
it up
2 years
there.
ago.
Yeah,
So
I loved it up there.
we had a wonderful time, and I have been, enjoying. And everybody always says we enjoy Miss Rita. She just gets us all together. I said, honey, one of the best things in Texas. Come on through.
All right now.
Uh,
All
so
right
I
then.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. Be sure and continue to share. Be sure and follow Miss Rita Oliver, the money strategist, because she's gonna really be out after February 1st. She's gonna be in y'all face more than
Girl,
she
yeah,
ever has
yeah.
been.
They gonna see me more than they ever saw me. I'm gonna be smiling out loud, out loud.
But
Uh-huh.
we want you to live your best life. We want you to, and more than anything else, I want you to make an informed decision. It's your decision how you want to live your life. I'm good with that. But I don't want you, it's like Paul said, I would not have you ignorant, brother. I don't want you to be
Mm.
ignorant of a certain thing. You be highly educated, have, as they say, more degrees than a thermometer. But I want you to be able to live your best life on your terms, God's purpose for your life, but living your best life the way you want to live it and live it how you want to. Mr. Reed Cooper said, if the physical's right, then the physical will be better than I'm right.
She
Come
right.
on, lady. I know that's right. What's that old song?
She
You gotta
right.
have a J-O-B if you want to be. Oh, anyway. Ooh,
She's
I'm
right.
glad I got sidetracked.
But you're right, Julie. This is about, and that is my mission, is helping people to do that. Because I was in the store the other day, and I saw this on sale, and it's a book for me to take notes. But it says you rise by lifting others, and
Yes.
that's what this is about. Is lifting others. As you
Yeah.
said, we didn't know about money. It was the culture. Nobody had told us. So now people like myself are helping us to do that. I didn't know either. I learned the hard way, trial and error. But I love those trials and errors because it gets me through and got me to where I am today, and it's going to take me even further. And so my goal is to educate people so that you can go further. Because see, once you catch those fundamentals, once you catch what I teach you, then you implement it and do it for where you want to be. Because see, it's like this. Your thoughts determine where you want to be. Your actions will get you there.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing about it, Miss Rita Oliver has been there, so there's no shame in there's no it's a no judgment zone. We just want to be better. So wherever
That's it.
you start, and she's gonna take you to the next level. You know, Rita Oliver, I love you and I appreciate you
Love you too,
always
Julia.
being with us. And be sure and follow her on social media. Go to her website, RitaOliverSOS.com. Get her links, get her information. It's in my comment section under this video and everywhere else that you want to be so that you can live your best life. You all be blessed. Let's be strategic about September. This is as Apostle Ruth Wilson has already told me, September is our third turnaround. So this is an opportunity that we can turn things around and keep us on the straight and narrow to live the abundant life that Jesus died for us to have. All right. So we're in the third quarter. We're coming into the stretch. We got 10 days left to go. And then 3 months, 102 days after that. And then 2021 is going to be a wrap. So how you going to finish? Let's finish strong. Let's finish well. Let's finish and live so well that we're going to carry this over into 2022. So you all be blessed. Love you all.
Love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.